Hello, everyone, and good evening to you all. My name is Felton Parker. Today is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. As always, each day is a wonderful day to be blessed by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I sincerely hope you folks had a truly blessed and wonderful Wednesday. What I have for you guys in tonight's video is a list of all the National Day holidays from my National Day calendar segment. That includes my featured National Day holiday. Actually, today was Patriot Day, where we take time to remember the events of the terror attacks that took place in our nation exactly 23 years ago today. I will have the background and the history of it. Also tonight in my weather segment, I will let you all know exactly what we're expecting for tomorrow, which is Thursday, for your Friday, the upcoming weekend, and on to the first half of next week. And of course, I will have the very latest on Hurricane Francine and where it should be headed next. So without further ado, let's get things started here on this Wednesday night, the 23rd anniversary of the terror attacks on 9/11. As I'm getting ready, as I open up my National Day calendar segment to talk to you guys tonight about Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance. Do you remember where you were exactly 23 years ago to this day? On this day, September 11th, Patriot Day honors the memory of the nearly 3,000 innocent victims who died in the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Each year, Americans dedicate this day to remembering those who died and the first responders who risked their own lives to save others. For many, September 11, 2001, which was a Tuesday, began like any other weekday. We made our way to work. Children attended school. We shopped, had coffee, waited in line at a drive-thru. Those of us who weren't in New York City heard the first reports on the radio or television. A friend or neighbor alerted us to a plane flying into one of the Twin Towers. We felt disbelief, an accident, perhaps a miscalculation. Then a second plane flew into the second tower. Our disbelief turned into uncertainty and concern. Those on the ground faced terror and obstacles they had never known. But then, as a set of coordinated suicide attacks Those on the ground faced terror and obstacles they had never known. But then, as a set of coordinated suicide attacks organized by the militant group Al-Qaeda targeted the World Trade Center, the rest of the nation witnessed the unbelievable. And then a third plane crashed into the Pentagon, and yet another crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Memorial. Every year since that fateful day, over the past 23 years, every year since that fateful day, 23 years ago, the United States, every year since that fateful day, that fateful Tuesday, the United States comes together to remember the fallen. We remember the first responders and those who made difficult decisions. Since that day, memorials have risen from the ashes. Now here's how to show your support. Hope you have spent this day. Attend Patriot Day ceremonies. Observe moments of silence. 8:48. Number one, attend Patriot Day ceremonies. Observe moments of silence. 8:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That would be 7:46 a.m. Central Daylight Time. That would be 7:46 a.m. our time. American Airlines flight number 11 collides into the World Trade Center at 8:03 a.m. Central Daylight Time. 9:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 8:03 a.m. Central. United Airlines Flight 175 collides into the World Trade Center South Tower. 9:37 a.m. Eastern, 8:37 a.m. Central. American Airlines Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon. At 9:59 a.m. Eastern, 8:59 a.m. Central. World Trade Center South Tower collapse. 10:03 a.m. Eastern, 9:03 a.m. Central. United Airlines Flight 93 crashes into Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Okay, here's how to show your support. Number one, Attend Patriot Day ceremonies. Number 2, observe moments of silence. 8:46 a.m. Eastern, 7:46 a.m. Central. American Airlines Flight 11 collides into the World Trade Center. 9:03 a.m. Eastern, 8:03 a.m. Central. United Airlines Flight 175 collides into the World Trade Center South Tower. 9:37 a.m. Eastern, 8:37 a.m. Central. American Airlines Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon. 9:59 a.m. Eastern, 8:59 a.m. Central. World Trade Center South Tower collapse. 10:03 a.m. Eastern, 9:03 a.m. Central. United Airlines Flight 93 crashes into Shanksville, Pennsylvania. 10:28 a.m. Eastern, 9:28 a.m. Central. World Trade Center North Tower collapse. Number 3, volunteer. While remembering the day, help an organization with meaning to you. Improve the lives of others and the world around you. Spread kindness, offer them hope, share your skills with those who need them most. Number 4, remember. Remember those killed in the attacks. Remember to stand united as a nation. Join others in prayer vigils or memorial events. Number 5, use hashtag Patriot Day or hashtag never forget to post on social media and show your support. Patriot Day and National. Here's the history behind Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance history. Thursday, September 13, 2001. In the immediate aftermath of the terrorist attacks, President George W. Bush proclaimed Friday, September 14, 2001 as a National Day of Prayer in remembrance for the victims of the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. Saturday, August 31, 2002. President George W. Bush proclaimed Friday, September 6th through Sunday, September 8th of 2002 as National Days of Prayer and Remembrance. Wednesday, September 4th, 2002. President George W. Bush proclaims the following Wednesday, September 11, 2002 as the first Patriot Day. Friday, September 9, 2016, then President Barack Obama proclaimed September 11th as Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance. Here's some facts about 9/11. So to learn more about the 9/11 Memorial, the website 911memorial.org provides substantial information for those wanting to learn more or visit the memorial. Yes, both locations do include memorials to the victims of the September 11, 2001 attacks. You can learn more about the memorials by visiting pentagonmemorial.org and the National Park Service websites. And of course, I'm going to give you some more information in regards to the September 11, 2001 terror attacks. And I'm going to give you guys a background in history of why this day is known as Patriot Day. In the United States, Patriot Day occurs each in the here's a little more about Patriot Day. In the United States, Patriot Day occurs on September 11th of each year in memory of the victims killed in the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001. In the immediate aftermath of the attacks carried out, In the immediate aftermath of the attacks carried out by terrorists from Al Qaeda, President George W. Bush proclaimed Friday, September 14, 2001 as a National Week of Prayer in remembrance of victims of the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. A bill to make September 11th a National Day of Mourning was introduced in the U.S. House on October 25, 2001. Just 44 days later. A bill to make September 11th a National Day of Mourning was introduced in the U.S. House on October 25, 2001. Just 44 days later, by Representative Vito Fossella Representative New York with 22 co-sponsors. The result was the resolution to proclaim September 11, 2002 as the first Patriot Day. From 2009 to 2016, President Barack Obama proclaimed September 11th as Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance in observance of the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act. In 2017, President Donald Trump proclaimed September 8th through the 10th as National Days of Prayer and Remembrance and proclaimed September 11th as Patriot Day. President Donald Trump also did so in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Since Joe Biden was elected president in 2020, he has also issued executive orders for Patriot Day in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. The flag of the United States is flown at half-staff at the White House in Alton. The flag of the United States is flown at half-staff at the White House and on all government The flag of the United States is flown at half-staff at the White House and on all U.S. government buildings and establishments throughout the world. Americans are also encouraged to display flags in and outside their homes. Additionally, a moment of silence is observed to correspond with the attacks beginning at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That would be 7:46 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And the time of the first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center on that fateful day, September 11, 2001. Patriot Day is not a federal holiday. Schools and businesses remain open in observance of the occasion, although memorial ceremonies for the 2,977 victims are often held. Volunteer and service opportunities are coordinated by the Corporation for National and Community Service. So now here's a little more about the September 11th. Okay, so here's the history of the September 11th attacks. Here's a little more about the September 11th attacks. The September 11th attacks, commonly known as 9/11, were 4 coordinated Islamist terrorist suicide attacks carried out by Al-Qaeda against the United States in 2001, 23 years ago. On that morning, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners scheduled to travel from the east coast of California. The hijackers crashed the first 2 planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City and aimed the next 2 flights toward targets near Washington, D.C. in an attack on the nation's capital. The third team succeeded in striking the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense in Arlington County, Virginia, while the 4th plane crashed in rural Pennsylvania during a passenger revolt. The September 11th attacks killed 2,977 people, making the deadliest terrorist attack in history. In response to the attacks, the United States waged a multi-decade global war on terror to eliminate hostile groups deemed terrorist organizations, as well as the foreign governments purported to support them, in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and several other countries. A ringleader flew the American Airlines Flight 11 into the North Tower of the World Trade Center complex in Lower Manhattan at 8:46 a.m. Eastern, 7:46 a.m. Central. 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m. Eastern, 8:03 a.m. Central, the World Trade Center South Tower was hit by United Airlines Flight 175. Both 110-story skyscrapers collapsed within an hour and 41 minutes, bringing about the destruction of the remaining 5 structures in the WTC complex, World Trade Center complex, and damaging or destroying nearby buildings. American Airlines Flight 77 flew towards Washington, D.C. and crashed into the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. Eastern, 8:37 a.m. Central, causing a partial collapse. The 4th and final flight, American Airlines Flight 93, also changed course towards Washington, believed by investigators to target either the United States Capitol or the White House. Alerted to the previous attacks, the passengers revolted against the hijackers, who then crashed the aircraft into a Stony Creek Township field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 10:03 a.m. Eastern, 9:03 a.m. Central. The Federal Aviation Administration ordered an indefinite ground stop for all air traffic in the U.S. airspace at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, 8:45 a.m. Central. 59 minutes following the first impact, preventing any further aircraft departures until Thursday, September 13th, just 2 days later, and requiring all airborne aircraft to return to their point of origin or to divert to Canada. The actions undertaken in Canada to support incoming aircraft and their occupants were collectively titled Operation Yellow Ribbon. That evening, the Central Intelligence Agency informed President George W. Bush that his counterterrorism center had identified the attacks as having been the work of Al-Qaeda under Osama bin Laden. Formerly, the United States responded by launching the war on terror and invading Afghanistan to depose the Taliban, which rejected the conditions of U.S. terms to expel Al-Qaeda from Afghanistan and extradite its leaders. The U.S.'s invocation of Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty, its only usage today, called upon allies to fight Al-Qaeda. As U.S. and NATO invasion forces swept through Afghanistan, bin Laden eluded them by disappearing into the White Mountains. He denied any involvement until 2004. when experts of a taped statement which he accepted responsibility for the attacks were released. Al-Qaeda cited motivations including U.S. support of Israel, the presence of U.S. military bases in Saudi Arabia, and sanctions against Iraq. The nearly decade-long manhunt for bin Laden concluded on Monday, May 2nd, 2011, when he was killed during a U.S. military raid on his compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The war in Afghanistan continued for another 8 years until the agreement was made in February 2020 for American and NATO troops to withdraw from the country. The last members of the U.S. Armed Forces left the region on August 30th, 2021, after which the Taliban rapidly returned to power. Ayman al-Zawahiri, another planner of the attacks who succeeded bin Laden as the leader of the Al-Qaeda, was killed by U.S. drone strikes in Kabul, Afghanistan on July 31st, 2022. Excluding the hijackers, the attacks killed 2,977 people, injured thousands more, and gave rise to substantial long-term health consequences, while also causing at least $10 billion in infrastructure and property damage. It remains the deadliest terrorist attack in history, as well as the deadliest incident for firefighters and law enforcement personnel in American history, killing 343 and 72 members, respectively. The loss of life stemming from the impact of Flight 11 made it the most lethal multi-plane crash in aviation history, followed by the death toll incurred by Flight 175. The destruction of the World Trade Center and its environs seriously harmed the U.S. economy and induced global market shocks. Many other countries strengthened anti-terrorism legislation and expanded their powers of law enforcement and intelligence agencies. The total number of deaths caused by the attacks, combined with the death tolls from the conflicts they directly incited, has been estimated by the Cost of War Project to be over $4.5 million. Cleanup of the World Trade Center site, collectively Ground Zero, took 8 months and was completed in May of 2002, while the Pentagon was repaired within a year. After delays in the design of a replacement complex, 6 new buildings were planned to replace the lost towers, along with the museum and memorial dedicated to those who were killed or injured in the attacks. The tallest building, One World Trade Center, began construction in November 2006. It opened in November 2014. Memorials to the attacks include the National September 11 Memorial and Museum in New York City, the Pentagon Memorial in Arlington County, Virginia, and the Flight 93 National Memorial at the Pennsylvania crash site. So, do you remember? So for those of you who were around, for those of you like me who were around during the time when the Twin Towers and the Pentagon crashed 23 years ago, do you remember where you were? And you know me, I was a 17-year-old in English and then history class at Captain Shreve High School right here in Shreveport, Louisiana, under its greatest legendary principal, Sandra McCullough, who passed away earlier this year. So that's my info to you guys in regards to the events that took place exactly 23 years ago to this day. So, as we all know, September 11, 2001 began like any other morning. It was partially sunny and unusually mild start to our day here in Shreveport. So September 11, 2001 began like any other day, while most of us, with each and every one of us getting ourselves prepared for work or school. It was a typical late summer holiday, just like any other day. But unfortunately, that evening, all we could watch is exactly what happened on this day 23 years ago. That's all we could do. Just go home and learn about and do nothing but it would turn out to be a relatively long evening for all of us. And I remember all sports are all. Of course, it was early during football. Week 1 of the 2001 NFL season had just completed. And of course, all the Week 2 games had to be pushed back to much later in the season. And that's what delayed the NFL season by a week due to the events that took place on 9/11. Not only was today Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance, today was also National Hot Cross Bun Day Also today was National Make Your Bed Day. Now let us let us start focusing on your weather. Now let us begin focusing. Let us begin focusing on your weather. Now let us begin focusing on your weather, including the very latest on Hurricane Francine. As we all know, Hurricane. I'll have more about this in a few minutes, but now. Wait a minute. Before I get to your weather, let's. Excuse me. So let us see what famous Americans celebrated their birthdays on September 11th. Today, dancer Vivian Stein turns 20. Rapper Ludacris turns 47. Movie actress Taraji P. Henson turns 54. TV actor Tyler Hoechlin turns 37. Soccer coach Marouane Richard turns 43. TV actor Scott Patterson turns 66. TV actress Gabriella Saravia turns 20. Wrestler Paul Heyman turns 59. Rapper Lala Savage turns 36. R&B singer Somo turns 37. Pop singer Harry Connick Jr. turns 57. Pop singer Moby turns 59. Politician Bashar al-Assad turns 59. Pop singer Mackenzie Borg turns 32. Voice actress Elizabeth Daily turns 63. Today, soccer player Franz Beckenbauer would have turned 79. And also, legendary football coach Paul Bear Bryant would have turned. Today, legendary football coach Paul Bear Bryant would have turned 111. Also, model Iskra Lawrence today turns 34. So those are your famous birthdays from famousbirthdays.com who celebrated on September 11th. All Virgos. Now let's get to your let's move on to your weather. And of course, I will have the very latest on Hurricane Francine. As we all know, earlier today, Hurricane Francine has made landfall within the in portions of Hurricane landfall has brought torrential, substantial downpours, and tornado watches and warnings have been issued. So it's been a very active evening all across the state of Louisiana, most especially in portions of east and southeast Louisiana, where good evening to you, Jessica. How are you doing tonight? How was your day today? Most likely the effects of Hurricane Francine are found even further to the southeast in portions of southeast Louisiana. So here's what our weather is. So I'm about to tell you guys about it right now. So as of right now, we're still getting periods of light rain. Rain chances will be highest near and southeast of the I-30 corridor as Hurricane Francine moves inland across southeast Louisiana into Mississippi. Low temperatures tonight will average in the 60s. In areas further to the south and east of Louisiana are under a tropical storm warning as well as a flood warning in the hurricane local statement, as well as a wind advisory in portions of eastern Arkansas, eastern Louisiana, and portions of central and western Mississippi. Jessica, our weather, it's been raining constantly since, I want to say at least around noon today. It's rained like light, moderate to heavy at times. So, of course, today was the day we would get the most widespread rainfalls associating with Francine. And of course, here's what the Shreveport radar is looking like on this Wednesday night. So all the rains associated. That's all the heavy rains associated with Francine. All across the Shreveport, all across Northwest Louisiana, including here in Shreveport Bossier. So far, now unfortunately, we've just been getting the moderate to heavy rainfall, but not the much heavier amounts and the stronger winds like our friends in like our friends in South Louisiana, in Southeast Louisiana. So here's and of course here's the heavy rainfalls. Heavier rainfall is like light to moderate all across the Shreveport, Northwest Louisiana, including Shreveport, Bossier City, and also all the rains are being found in Southeast Oklahoma and all portions of Arkansas, all across the state, across a good portion of the state of Arkansas and portions of east and north, especially northeast Texas. So that's where we're going to find the rain. And of course, if you look here, this is where the heaviest of the rain is being found. Besides one spot is shower in central Texas. And of course, heaviest of the rain is like northeast Texas and portions of eastern, southeast Oklahoma and portions of central and south and southern and all central southern Arkansas, as well as most of east and southeast Louisiana. Of course, you see between like here's Baton Rouge and there's New Orleans. That's the heaviest of the rain. Also, and the entire state of Mississippi is being covered. And of course, the heaviest has to be like Hattiesburg, and also further eastward into most portions of much of Alabama. That's the Gulf Coast, Alabama, into portions of the Florida Panhandle. That's one of the beaches off the Florida Gulf Coast, and it's also extending well into the state of Georgia. So that's where the effects of Francine. That this is associated with what's being associated. Much of this has been what's associated with Francine. And of course, that's where Francine's path is with that's where the heaviest. This is where Francine's most likely going to be affecting within the next few days. So Francine, it is strengthened into a Category 2 storm. Francine. So this is actually Francine has been down. Francine should be downgraded to tropical storm. So. This is where you want to know. This is where Francine is located. This is from the National Weather Service page out of New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So it's been downgraded to a tropical storm. So Francine has been downgraded to a tropical storm, and it will continue to move northward further inland. Flash flooding is ongoing in several areas in southeast Louisiana. Heavy rain, storm surge, flooding, damaging winds, and tornadoes will be possible through tomorrow morning. Be in your safe spot to ride the storm by early afternoon. So it's going to take some time for things to get back to normal for our folks down south. And of course, here's another closer look on what the radar is looking like. And of course, the heaviest is actually this. That's Baton Rouge. This is Baton Rouge, and this is right here is New Orleans. And of course, I would say that's Slidell, that's Hammond and Slidell in southeast Louisiana, and also going into portions of southern Mississippi. That's like Gulf Horn, Biloxi, the Mississippi beaches. That's Hattiesburg. This is where the heaviest rain bands from Francine are being concentrated on. And coming back northward in the Shreveport, Bossier City area we're getting like constant moderate to heavy downpours. So again, now I do want to show you guys this. So in the most like in the Baton Rouge, so there's at least a tropical storm warning in the Baton Rouge area. In Hammond, also in the Gulfport, there's a tropical storm warning. There's a tropical storm warning. So because these watches and warnings go all the way from Lafayette points eastward in like east of Lafayette into Baton Rouge. There's a tropical storm warning. Flash flood warning is in like Hammond up to and Gulfport, as well as if you come into the city of New Orleans, surrounded by storm surge warnings. A storm surge warning. I normally do not show you much info on radar in different cities across the country, unless there's a significant weather event, such as Hurricane Francine playing a weather factor in down in southeast Louisiana where Francine has been hardest hit. And of course, we've seen periods of course, we've mostly seen periods of mainly like the moderate rain occurring at times. We've seen like periods of like the moderate rainfall totals. Because due to clouds and rain, high temperatures today did not get out of the 70s. And of course, we've had periods of like the moderate rain at times throughout the day. I say rainfall totals as expected would at least reach an inch. And we still have some ways to go before Francine gets out of the picture. Here's how things are looking outside on this Wednesday night. Temperature outside here on this Wednesday night is 73 degrees with periods of mist and light rain. We have a north wind at 6 miles per hour. Humidity is 89%. Dew point is 70 degrees. And because rain's being associated with Francine, visibility is reduced to 5 miles per hour. So that lets us know that the air mass is very moist and it's very humid outside. So we are currently at 73 degrees here on this Wednesday night. And it does not look like we're going to see temperatures dropping much from there. So thanks to clouds and rain associated with Francine, temperatures today just did not get out of the 70s at all. Now here's the hazardous weather outlook. Here's what the next few days could bring us. Rain showers and gusty winds should continue across portions of the four-state region into Thursday as Hurricane Francine moves further. Rain showers and gusty winds should continue across portions of the four-state region into Thursday as Hurricane Francine moves further inland. Rain is expected to move out of the area Thursday evening with no hazardous weather expected through the weekend into next week. So I will let you know exactly when Francine should officially be. So Hurricane Francine, so as we all know, as a Category 2 storm, Hurricane Francine has made landfall in South Louisiana. Hurricane Francine makes landfall in southern Louisiana. Francine has officially made landfall along the Louisiana coast as a Category 2 hurricane. Life-threatening storm surge, considerable flash and urban flooding, hurricane-force winds and tornadoes are expected along the Louisiana, Mississippi, and portions of the Alabama coastlines. Francine will continue to track across west central Mississippi into the Mid-South Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to give you guys another update on. I'm going to give you guys another update on. I'm going to give you guys another update on Francine. So, and of course, we actually have another tropical system. We have another system in the tropics. Now here's the very latest on Francine, which is a Category 2 hurricane. Actually, Francine should be downgraded to a tropical storm. So again, Hurricane Francine is an active tropical cyclone that is impacting. Again, so just like I was reading to you guys last night, Hurricane Francine is an active tropical cyclone that is impacting Louisiana this month. The sixth named storm and fourth hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, its formation brought the end of a significant quiet period in tropical cyclone formation in the Atlantic. Originating from a tropical wave that was initially spotted in the central Atlantic by the National Hurricane Center in late August, the disturbance that eventually became Francine began gradually organizing on September 7th, which was last Saturday, as it exited the Yucatan Peninsula and entered the Bay of Campeche. The disturbance consolidated further and was designated by the National Hurricane Center as potential tropical cyclone 6 the next day, Sunday, September 8th. The next day, which was Monday, it was upgraded to tropical storm status and was given the name Francine by the National Hurricane Center. So we know yesterday Francine became a hurricane. So beginning to accelerate northeastward towards the Gulf of Mexico. Beginning to accelerate northeast towards the Gulf Coast of the United States, and Iowa began developing even as wind shear began to increase and environmental conditions worsened. Despite this, a ragged eye developed on satellite imagery later this morning, leading to Francine eventually peaking as a Category 2 hurricane. Leading to Francine eventually peaking as a Category 2 hurricane, with maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour, and a minimum central pressure of 28.7 inches of mercury. Shortly afterwards, Francine made landfall in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. Rapid weakening began after the hurricane made landfall, and as of right now, Francine has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Here are the ExxonMobil and Shell canceled operations in the Gulf of Mexico and evacuated their employees. Amtrak suspended service in New Orleans from September 11th through the 14th. So Amtrak services in New Orleans. So Amtrak services in New Orleans have been suspended at least through Saturday. South Texas has been placed under a tropical storm warning as Francine approached. Galveston County raised their emergency management facilities level to 2. Texas Governor Greg Abbott mobilized water rescue teams. In Louisiana, hurricane warnings were issued from Sabine Pass to Morgan City. Louisiana was placed under a state of emergency by Governor Jeff Landry. The governor also sent 2,300 guardsmen of the Louisiana National Guard to parishes that were likely to be affected. Several school districts in Louisiana closed in preparation for Francine. Mandatory evacuations were issued for Grand Isle, Lafitte, and Barataria. Lafourche, Terrebonne, and Washington parishes issued curfews. St. Mary and Terrebonne parishes raised their floodgates. Iberia Parish and Baton Rouge distributed sandbags. Louis Armstrong International Airport canceled all flights. 5 United States Postal Services locations were shut down. Port Fourchon, a major supplier of offshore oil producers, and the Louisiana offshore oil port were closed. The coast of Mississippi and Alabama was placed under a tropical storm warning. Governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, issued a declaration of a state of emergency. Jackson, Mississippi, set up a shelter in the police training academy. Several schools in the state were closed for Francine. Here are the impacts. Those are preparations. Exports in the United States, exports out to the Gulf of Mexico were disrupted as a result of Francine. As of Monday, in Texas, Port O'Connor was experiencing flooding conditions. And in Louisiana, Francine made landfall near southern Louisiana and Terrebonne Parish with sustained winds of 100 miles per hour earlier today. A tornado warning was issued for Plaquemines Parish in the southeastern part of the state. Over 200,000 were without power. Francine's winds downed numerous trees and power lines, which resulted in blocked roads. Numerous streets sustained flooding as a result of heavy rainfall. So I guess I will tell you and let you guys know tomorrow about the aftermath of Francine. Now, Francine is not the only storm we're dealing with in the tropics right now. We also have Tropical Depression 7. Just last Saturday, September 7th, the National Hurricane Center noticed that Just last Saturday, September 7th, the National Hurricane Center noted that a trough of low pressure could interact with a nearby tropical wave and slowly develop, beginning a favorable environment for development. Just earlier today, showers and thunderstorms began showing signs of organization in the disturbance, which had become a tropical wave. Just later on, the wave developed a surface circulation, causing it to develop into Tropical Depression 7. could this system receive, if this strengthens it further, it could likely receive the name Garden. It could likely receive. This system more than likely could receive the name Garden. And also we have Helene and Isaac on the list after Garden. We have Helene, Isaac, Joyce, and Kirk all on the list of this year's Atlantic hurricane names. So Tropical Depression 7 could likely receive the name Garden. Okay, here is the latest on. So, as we all know, Francine has been downgraded to a tropical storm after peaking after reaching its peak as a Category 2 hurricane. So here's the very latest with Francine. As of right now, Tropical Storm Francine is currently located approximately 35 miles from New Orleans, Louisiana. This is where Francine is right now, 35 miles from southwest of New Orleans. Maximum sustained winds are 70 miles per hour with gusts up to 85 miles per hour. The system is moving from the northeast at 20 miles per hour and the pressure is at 29 inches of mercury. And that's the latest on Francine. And now here's the latest. Here's also the latest on Tropical Depression 7 or TD7. Currently, Tropical Depression 7 is located approximately 485 miles from the Cabo Verde Islands. Maximum sustained winds are 35 miles per hour with wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. This system is moving from the west-northwest at 21 miles per hour and barometric pressure is at 29.74 inches of mercury. So I do have the very latest on. Not only are we dealing with Francine, which is now a tropical storm, we are also dealing with Tropical Depression 7, which is, it's possibly more than likely, if it strengthens even further, it could receive the name Garden. As of right now, it doesn't look like it's far to see. So we have several days to watch these tropical systems. So after not having much activity besides Francine, the tropics are seeming to me to be pretty active. So I just thought I'd take this extended time to give you guys the very latest hurricane information. Of course. So today, this entire day has been an extreme. This entire day has been an extremely busy one in the weather department, especially when it comes to Francine. And we're just we are not done with her just yet. We are not done with Francine just yet. We're just not done with her yet. We're just not done with her. We're just not done with her just yet. So now let's talk about your weather locally back here at home. So tonight, expect periods of rain and drizzle to continue. So we expect periods of rain and drizzle. So expect rain and drizzle mostly from Francine to continue. I believe we have already exceeded at least an inch of rain already. So expect periods of rain and drizzle with at least close to another quarter of an inch continue to fall. With a low temperature of 72 degrees with an east-northeast wind at 8 miles per hour, chance of rain 90%. So expect periods of rain and drizzle continue. And tomorrow, all the rains associated with Francine should finally come to an end. We'll just be left with lots of clouds during the day tomorrow. But early during the day, I cannot leave out that possible slight chance of a shower or a thunderstorm or two that could be associated with wraparound moisture that what has been caused by Francine. So tomorrow it will be clouded with a few showers. It will be clouded with at least a slight chance of a lingering shower or two. With the high temperature tomorrow, with because we still see clouds around because of clouds, temperatures will not get out of the 70s. Tonight's low temperature forecast, the bottom line is tomorrow's high temperatures forecast only top out at 78 degrees, which is that's at least 13 degrees below what our average high temperature should be this time of year. But there's a warm up on the way. High temperature tomorrow 78 degrees. The cloudy skies, a slight chance of a shower or two possible. We have a northwest wind at 9 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. That's going to be during the day. That's going to be especially early in the morning. So tomorrow will be another mild day for us like today. So expect periods of rain, periods of off and on rain to continue during the overnight hours tonight into the early part of the day tomorrow. With temperatures most likely staying in the 70s, so so temperatures will not be dropping. Temperatures will not be dropping much overnight tonight. Temperatures will not be dropping much during overnight outside, since it will be cloudy with periods of rain and drizzle. So you'll probably want to wake up. So you probably want to grab an umbrella with you. You'll probably want to grab an umbrella with you while you're heading out tomorrow morning. So expect periods of rain to continue around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The temperature is 73 degrees. 9 a.m. tomorrow with clouds, we should be at 75 degrees. Noon tomorrow with clouds remaining, we should be at 78 degrees. Skies remaining cloudy. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon with skies remaining cloudy, we should be at 76 degrees. 6 p.m. tomorrow evening with clouds remaining, we should be at 73 degrees. 9 p.m. tomorrow night, we should begin to see clear skies with a temperature of 69 degrees. So warmer and drier weather is returning. But first, we have to get past what is left over with Francine. What is being left over behind Francine. Excuse me. So all we can do is pray. We can. Now this system could have tracked itself further westward, and we would have been. Now it could have been a lot worse. We could have been on the media just briefly on the. We could have been briefly on the eastern front. So Francine is shifted its way out further eastward. So the New Orleans and the New Orleans and portions, our friends in New Orleans and Baton Rouge and surrounding areas in southeast Louisiana are the ones that's largely impacted by Francine. Also portions of Mississippi. So our condolences, thoughts, and prayers go out to them, to all who are affected. So praying that everything is safe in God's hand, and of course. And that part with the much stronger winds, that it's resulting in thousands and thousands, multiple power outages all across that portion of the state. So across that portions of the state. So it's so because of the torrential downpours that's caused by Francine. We know that the New Orleans Saints are playing the Dallas Cowboys. So it's a good thing that the New Orleans Saints will not be playing this coming Sundays. It's a good thing that the New Orleans Saints have a game on the road this coming Sunday. They will be facing the Dallas Cowboys Sunday at noon. Now let's see what the next 7 and 10 days have in store for us. So after periods of rain and drizzle tonight, and it looks like that tonight's going to be the heaviest of the rain we see. So after periods of rain and drizzle, and also it's going to be a weather warm and muggy night for us at the low temperature 72 degrees tomorrow. Clouds will expect cloudy skies mainly throughout the day, with maybe a small chance of a shower, a small chance of a stray shower or thunderstorm or two. But most of the rains from Francine should be departing the area early tomorrow morning. So we'll be left with lots of clouds tomorrow. It's going to be kind of gloomy. And that's the reason with clouds around, we'll have a high temperature of 78 degrees with the high of 78, low of 64. Winds will be from the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Chance of rain at least 10%. And finally, much warmer and drier conditions return as we go into your Friday. We close out the week. We will close out the week on, of course, this coming Friday is Friday the 13th. It will be warmer with plenty of sunshine. As we get into the closure of this week, warmer with plenty of sunshine with the high of 94, low of 70. Winds will be from the west-southwest at 7 miles per hour, and no rain is expected going into your Friday. Saturday, of course, we know temperatures, it gets even warmer going into your Saturday, the upcoming weekend. Of course, summer isn't over now. Keep in mind, summer isn't over with just yet. It will be mostly sunny and hot. Just remember the dangers of dehydration and heat stroke if outside for an extended period of time. So this coming Saturday will be mostly sunny and hot. Maybe a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm or two possible. At least a slight rain chance possible. With the high of 98, low of 74. Winds will be from the west-southwest at 7 miles per hour. Chance rain 20%. Looks like have a weak upper level system that could bring us another chance of showers and storms. So it's not going to be anything tropical related. Also, it will be mostly sunny and hot. Just remember to use extreme caution if you're be outside for an extended period of time. High of 97, low of 72. It will be mostly sunny and hot with a chance of shower with the chance of late day showers and storms possible. High of 97, low of 72. Winds will be from the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Chance rain 40%. And we go into the start of next week. It will be humid with partly cloudy skies. It will be partly cloudy and humid with a slight chance of a shower, thunderstorm, or two possible. High of 90, low of 71. Winds will be from the south-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Have a 20% rain chance for your Monday. Also for your Tuesday, it will be mostly sunny and very warm. Maybe a slight chance for shower, thunderstorm, or two possible. High of 94, low of 72. Winds will be from the south-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Chance for 20%. Looks like as of right now, next Wednesday is looking mostly sunny, rather hot and dry. It will be very warm with mainly sunshine. High of 94, low of 72. Winds will be from the west at 7 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. And we get into this, and of course we'll close out next week with lots of sunshine. The way it's looking like right now, that much of next week should be mainly dry. It will be, of course, going to next Thursday, which is the 19th. It would be, you expect plenty of sunshine, highs in the low 90s, and no rain is expected. Next Friday the 20th, similar conditions, lots of sunshine, highs in the low 90s, and no rain is expected. And next Saturday, which is the 21st, expect again. It would be, you expect lots of sunshine, with highs in the upper 80s, and no rain is expected. But first, because clouds and rain are because we have cloud cover and rain, especially that's been associated with Francine, our daytime high temperatures have been much lower. So expect another day with below. Expect another cooler than average day tomorrow. As we head into your Thursday, with highs only in the upper 70s. So we have enjoy the. So if you do not prefer late summer heat within the next few days, then my suggestion is that you enjoy tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the coolest we'll see out the next several days. And now that pleasant fall, those pleasant fall-like temperatures we had during the past weekend and into earlier this week, I do not see no signs of any cooler air returning anytime soon. So for us here, it's gonna be we get at least another taste of summer coming back in the area. So of course, expect the rain expect rains associated with Francine to continue during the overnight hours tonight. Now tomorrow with clouds around. We'll only have a high temperature in the upper 70s, so we'll be below normal for one more day. And then the gradual warm-up begins as you go into your Friday with sunshine returning, with highs warming to the upper 90s for Friday. It gets even warmer for Saturday for your Saturday with highs in the upper 80s, and we stay in the mid to upper 80s for the entire weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, with the weak front of the disturbance coming through late during the weekend, especially late Sunday and Sunday night. And we'll start off next week with very warm temperatures with highs in the low to mid 90s. With highs in the low to mid 90s as we go into the first half of next week, with highs in the low to mid 90s each day. Now your rain chances. I have rain chances not more than 10% tomorrow. No rain expected for Friday. So not more than 10. So it looks like the highest rain chance because I have to put like at least a 20 to 30% rain chance for tomorrow, which is Thursday. No rain expected Friday. 20% Saturday. Of course, we have small rain chances returning for the weekend. 20% Saturday. 40% for Sunday. That's actually late Sunday night. 20% both Monday and Tuesday. No rain for Wednesday. So it looks like rainfall total should be anywhere between quarter to and half an inch. So we're not going to. So once the rains from Francine depart, we have another rain, and once the rains from Francine depart early during the day tomorrow, we're not going to see much of any more rain. Our next rainmaker, we have small rain chances during the upcoming weekend and early next week. The best rain chance the next few days happen to be on being on Sunday. Then of course we get into a mainly dry and warm pattern set into most of next week, and it doesn't look like that we're going to see. Doesn't look like we're going to see much in the rain way more after tonight. We're not going to see much in the way more in the way of excessive rainfall or cooler temperatures anytime soon. So expect another extended long run of summer to begin. By the time we go starting Friday through at least the end of next week, we could have high temperatures at least in the 90s, at least 9 degrees each day. So hope you're not minding the rain and the cooler temp. Hope you're enjoying these cooler temperatures, especially if you're not minding the rain, especially if it's involving a tropical system, especially involving Francine. So I will continue to keep you guys track and see where Francine could be headed, could be where the effects of Francine could be headed, and how and let you guys know when Francine's effects. I also let you track potential to keep you guys up to date, not only with Francine, but also with the very latest with potential tropical cyclone 7, which likely could receive the name Garden. So that will be the next name storm on this year's list of Atlantic hurricane names. So, and also let us not forget our victims, the ones that were affected by the tragic events that took place 23 years ago today in our country, in our nation. But now I haven't been able to have much time to talk to you guys about, but we learned about the deaths of James Earl Jones, who passed away earlier this week at the age of 93. I also learned about famed R&B singer. Okay, before I get to that, let's see, I have a few minutes. Now, because I've spent so much time talking to you guys about the events of 9/11 and also about Hurricane Francine, I also haven't a chance to talk to you guys much about last night's presidential debate. I have not had the chance to talk to you guys about last night's presidential debate. So last night's debate was sponsored by. Three debates have been canceled following last night's televised debate sponsored by ABC. The sponsored by ABC was held last night on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. 4 general debates sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates were originally scheduled to be held Monday, September 16th, on September 16th and October 9th. Both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump opposed the CPD's debate format and schedule. So, because Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race in July, there was only one scheduled debate sponsored by ABC. It was the one last at the historical debate that took place on Tuesday, September 10th. That was the second presidential debate, and the vice president debate will take place between between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. This debate will take place on Tuesday, October 1st. So there's a schedule been 3 additional presidential debates. One in San Marcos, Texas next Monday. One in Petersburg, Virginia on October 1st. And one in Salt Lake City, Utah on October 9th. Each of the 3 have been canceled. And also supposed to be in a vice presidential debate held in Eastern Pennsylvania on Wednesday, September 25th. So now it's going to be the vice president debate is going to take place in New York on Tuesday, October 1st. Sponsored by CBS. So I just want to give you guys a brief recap of what was about the presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump that took place on Tuesday evening, September 10th. Now, we also learned about the deaths of actor James Earl Jones, who passed away earlier this week at age 93, and also lead singer of the R&B/soul group Maze, Frankie Beverly, has also passed away earlier this morning at age 77. I sort of like his Frankie Beverly was an American singer, songwriter, and producer known primarily for his recordings with the soul and funk band Maze. Beverly formed Maze, originally called Raw Soul, in his hometown of Philadelphia in 1970. After a relocation to San Francisco and an introduction to Marvin Gaye, Maze went on to release 9 gold albums and create a large and devoted following. Beverly was the band's writer, producer, leader, and lead singer. He was known for his distinctive smooth baritone voice and charismatic stage presence. Beverly died on Tuesday, September 10, 2024 at the age of 77. Best known for his chart-topping hit single Before I Let Go, which was recovered by Beyonce in 2019. And also in tomorrow night's video, I'm gonna have a preview of your weekend weather with the return of heat and humidity. Later, we're going to have a preview of your Friday with another brief preview of your weekend weather. It's the return of the heat and humidity, return to summer, once Francine gradually departs from the area. And also have another brief update with the very latest on our next tropical system. Could it be Gordon? And also, as well as my National Day Calendar segment for tomorrow night. And also, Week 2 of the 2024 NFL season begins tomorrow night between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. So Week 2 of the 2024 NFL season begins tomorrow night between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. That game will be played at 7:15 p.m. on Amazon Prime. This game will be between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. And this will be all that I have for you guys here on this Wednesday night, the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. Once again, my name is Felton Parker. I'm officially signing off. You guys have a good night. Sleep peacefully. Take care of yourselves and each other. Most of all, remain blessed and stay safe. Thank you.